But it's like, that's the whole point. Like, scaring yourself is like the best feeling ever.
I think more or less it's just the creativity behind it. You can do whatever you want, and you can make whatever you want. You make your own fun.
It's like the best things in life is on the other side of fear.
For me, BMX is just more than riding a bike. It's therapy. It's an entire like family and culture.
You ride because you want to, and you ride because you literally have to. You have to stay sane, to be happy, to be yourself.
This guy, Brian Fox, number 1 in the qualifiers. He's going to end off the corner by Ricky Flair.
My name's Jabe Jones. I'm 21 years old and I'm from Orlando, Florida. I started riding pretty much ever since I could get my training wheels off. My brother started riding before I did, and he's 7 years older than I am. So I pretty much was just born right into it. By the time he was going to skate parks, I was just tagging along with him the whole entire time. I ride for the Shadow Conspiracy and Sabrosa brand. You have Flow, AM, and then Pro. So I'm just an AM rider. I just get I get to go on a lot of cool trips, and they pay for my travel and get invited on a lot of cool stuff. I go to UCF. It's the local university over in Oviedo. I try to stay pretty determined with school. I do that full time, and then I work part time. So it's in between then I ride a bike as much as I can. And ever since I was 13 years old, I've always rode with my brother, and one of the biggest things that my brother's ever taught me when it comes to riding at a high intensity and doing something that's gnarly, he's always told me, just turn your brain off. Just turn your brain off. And I was what does that mean? I remember being younger, and I was what does that mean? He's you let your instincts fully take over. That half a second where you push yourself past the furthest point that you've gone so far, and then you actually try it. And then the first time you try it, you don't know what that's going to feel like until you push yourself past that point and you're actually bunny hopping to your destination, where you want to go, onto the ledge, onto the rail, off the roof, whatever. You don't know that. I mean, even in park riding, it's you don't know what that feels like until you're pedaling up to the box jump, and you just pull, just yanked as hard as you could to do it. But the thing is, until you do that, you haven't tried it yet. Most of the time it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't work out, it sucks. It sucks really bad. Then you have to get up and you have to climb back up there. So you gotta turn your brain off again and not think about the fact that you just ate shit, and you gotta do it again. And it's like, I just don't feel like a lot of people think that there's that much into it. They just think like, oh, there's some dumb kids just like, but you're like bound to get hurt. Like, and the thing is like, you can sit there on the deck and think about like all the stuff that can go wrong, and oh my god, I can get hurt and all this stuff like that. But it's like, that's the whole point. Like, scaring yourself is like the best feeling ever, but it's like, you gotta turn it off when it's time to go. You know what I mean? Normal people that don't do this, like, they don't understand like what it's like to have like such an extension of yourself at such like a high intense like speed and all this stuff. So it like makes you feel like getting injured, it messes all that up because it makes you feel like not confident. My dad always said, if it was easy, everyone would do it. And that's the thing with BMX. It's like, if it was easy, everyone would do it, but it's not. It's not for the faint of heart. It's, you know, no falls, no balls, man. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, you take it with it. That's just the way it goes.
My name is Marquez Butler. I'm 22 and I'm from Queens, New York. I've been riding for approximately 5 years now. I got into riding by watching, well, it was something called Dew Tour. It's sponsored by Mountain Dew. There was this one rider called Chad Curley. I watched him ride and it was just insane. So I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And now I'm working on trying to do that. What I mostly love about BMX is like, you get to be yourself, you get to do new stuff, explore, meet new people, and there's so many different like variety of tricks out there that you can do, and there's so many different ways you could put them into one thing. So it's insane to watch people put stuff together. Oh yeah, I love handrails. Basically go by this is one of my friends told me, his name is E. More Petty. It's like the best things in life is on the other side of fear. And he wasn't lying about that. If you do something, you're going to be so super stoked after you do it, and you're going to be so happy. And you know you were scared, but you got it done. Go about your pace. Don't let people rush you. And do what you feel comfortable with doing. You don't always have to try to be the best. Just be yourself. Have fun. That's what all BMX is all about.
My name is Anthony Panza. I am 23 years old, about to be 24 years old. I am from Lindenhurst, New York, here on Long Island. I don't know why I got benched for some bullshit, and I was like good at baseball. I was good. They always put me in, but something so petty. And I was like, at the time, that's when I started getting into BMX. I was like, I'm over this. And then I think more or less it's just the creativity behind it. You can do whatever you want, and you can make whatever you want. You make your own fun. You know, build a ledge, go ride a skate park, go ride a ledge down the block. You know, you're open to like endless opportunities. Growing up on Long Island, there was definitely a big scene of BMX riders, and in my town alone, I can probably name like 20 people. And we were just filming videos, you know, locally at the skate park. We started building like a skate park in front of his house. I stole benches from Outback. Like, there's an Outback across the street from my house that had these amazing plastic benches, and I fucking stole all of them. And we brought them to my house and brought them to Jake's house, which is on the south side. We set up a skate park in front of his house, and then the whole neighborhood would just come there every day. I can't really say like I always wanted to be a YouTuber, because there are actually people out there that want to be YouTubers. Honestly, I hate saying that like I'm a YouTuber, but that's just a platform that I use all the time, so it is what it is. But it all started from picking up the camera when I was so young, just filming BMX trips, and we would upload them to YouTube. We never made money from it. We just wanted to see ourselves progress and just make dope little edits of the crew. And once I met Billy, he was filming videos too, and he's been filming since he was really young. You know, I started filming videos with him and filming videos with Jake at the same time, and filming videos with whoever, anybody that had a camera, I was filming. I loved to do it. You know, it was natural when we went out riding. You would film edits, right? We started off filming edits. started taking the edits more seriously and working on projects for a really long time. Zach Marin, Justin Cobley, Nick Jones. These are all people that definitely, you know, helped me out filming wise and held the camera and sat there for an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours sometimes. I mean, sometimes it was really bad and I felt so horrible. And then those edits, you know, got me frames, bikes, eventually leaded up to a sponsorship with Colt, which is like one of the biggest companies in BMX, which I'm obviously like super thankful for. We were filming lots of videos, doing the GoPro ones in the city, and those blew up, and you know, they were on like World Star and all these crazy websites at the time, doing millions of views. But I think where it really started was that water park video. I had planned it a couple days before. I was like, we need to go to Splish Splash, right? There's probably gonna be no security there considering it's Thanksgiving. We'll go in the morning. It's not gonna be, you know, raining. It's not gonna be too cold. He ended up filming this video. I was working on a video too, and it blew up. It blew up. We were on headlines. We were on the fucking news. Every single bagel store on Long Island was playing it first thing in the morning. I see myself getting a bagel on the news in my bagel shop. Eventually, we had a little falling out, and you know, I was always into filming, always into editing. And before we had the falling out, I started working on my own shit. But once we had the falling out, and he had the falling out with Augie, like that was our crew. That's when I just started focusing on my own shit and took it to a whole nother level. Would I say I wanted to pursue YouTube? No, kind of just happened, and I fell in love with it. To this day, I still want to just grow. Whether or not it's YouTube or a fucking TV show, that would be like a dream. So if I didn't ride BMX, chances are YouTube wouldn't even be a thing for me. Well, now I kind of got like a million things going on between riding. You know, I have the filmer, but I also edit, and then I have a warehouse now. I don't have someone currently packing orders for me and handling customer service or you know, dealing with clothes and stuff. So riding, I'm still outside all the time, but it went from like riding every single day when I was making YouTube videos, filming myself, to now I probably ride 3 or 4 times a week. The weekends I definitely don't ride anymore, and that was like the time to thrive. I put that aside specifically for my girlfriend and my personal life, because during the week we could be out from 9 o'clock in the morning like we were today. So now, I mean, I probably got here at 7, so 9 to 7 we're out all day long. Also do a lot of stuff with dirt bikes, quads, and stuff in that realm. Recently just started up this Bonzi garage, right? My friends gave me a nickname. They call me Bonzi. Honestly, I have no idea where that came from, but Rusty gave me this nickname, call me Bonzi. And then I started getting into the dirt bikes, started buying multiples of them, and at the time I was just storing all this stuff in my garage at home, and then I started calling it the Bonzi garage, right? And now that has grown to where I have a warehouse behind me. We got the logos, everything, and I've got probably about 10 ATVs in there that are you know, inventory that I will do giveaways with, that I will sell. That's like kind of a whole nother side business, so that's pretty cool. Sourcing them, getting them, working on them, making them look beautiful from absolute shit, and then seeing it turn around and watching someone be so fucking happy with a machine that you just worked on. So it is really dope. And then riding them in the streets as well. So, you know, that's huge here. It's not big in all places around the world. You know, we'll ride from Queens, New York, all the way to the Bronx, down through Times Square, over the bridge, back. We'll go to Philly, we'll go to Miami, we'll go to Atlanta. It's really dope, and that opens up a lot, especially with like the filming and stuff too. So it's cool. A whole nother hobby and business at the same time. Kind of keep a moderation with everything. And riding every day honestly isn't good sometimes, because then you get so fucking stressed and you lose like the fun. So, you know, you keep other things going on, you find other hobbies to keep you motivated, that inspire you to go out and do something different, you know, with the BMX, which I find the coolest. So I even had like conversations with Garrett Reynolds And he told me that sometimes he won't ride for a week. He'll ride one day a week and, you know, just watch videos, do other shit, make sure his body is healthy, because he gets burnt out. He'll get burnt out, and you want to always, you know, see it as something to do for fun. Once it feels like, you know, an overload, then you just gotta like chill. And whether or not I rode professionally, I would still ride to this day, no matter what. Even if I lost that, you know, bike, frame, money coming from Colt every month, I'd still be riding. That's not what drives me. It's just what I love and what I love to do forever. The big motive with BMX for me was like the creativity, and I think that's why I also fell in love with filming and editing, because you could do whatever the fuck you want, and there's nobody to tell you, oh no, this isn't right, no, this isn't right. There's no laws, there's no rules. It's a free-for-all, so that's it.
My name's Brian Fox. I'm 26 years old, and I'm originally from Deerfield Beach, Florida, now residing in Commerce, Georgia. So I started riding ever since I, got off training wheels. I think I was like 2 years old. My dad has always been an avid cyclist. He's been working in a bike shop since he was 10 years old. He's 52 now, so a very, very long time. Sorry, Dad. But yeah, it's just something that was in my blood. I was just kind of born to ride a bike. It's in my DNA, and so ever since I can remember, this is all I've done is just ride a bike. I do have a job outside of BMX, but to no surprise, it's at a bike shop. My family actually owns a bike shop here in Commerce, Georgia. We have 2 locations. They're called Suburban Cycles, and that's what I do for the majority of my week is work here 10 to 6, and then finding time to ride in between. It's hard to keep your body healthy when you're putting it through so much abuse. It's just like day in, day out of just like crashing, or for street riders, big drops and stuff, and then the park riders, it requires a higher heart rate, and cardio is like the cardio aspect is like nuts. When I drop in, it's like it takes 15 seconds for my heart rate to hit 170, and then by 30 to 45 seconds it's close to 180, or up in the 180s. It's brutal. You work so hard for something, you crash a ton of times, and you just, at some points you just feel like it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's not going to happen. But you continuously put yourself through absolute hell trying to do something, and then finally it works out that one time, and there really is no better feeling that I can think of offhand that's better than it. I think that's where progression came from. That's, it's that feeling. It's like a drug. You get this crazy high when you land something, and you're just constantly chasing that high every single time. So that feel good as soon as you stop it. It's not like that druggy feeling, but it's like you want to feel it again and again. It's like fucking brutal. I love that. That definitely is the best. It's always really challenging leading up to the events because, obviously you want to do good. You want to do the best at anything that you do. But it's pretty nerve-wracking. It's not even the people or the fans or anything like that, or the money that's possible that you can win. It's more so just like you want to do it for yourself. You have this vision in your head, and the days leading up to the competition, you're constantly going through it, and that's all you can think about all day is the tricks that you're going to be doing and how it's going to feel, and envisioning yourself doing them. It's very nerve-wracking, but finally once the time comes and you're on the roll-in, it's like tunnel vision. Everything, there's no sound, your mind is completely blank other than what's right there in front of you, and it's a tough one to explain, but it feels so good. And competing's not for everyone, and I get that, but I don't know, it just that crazy feeling of like wanting it and thinking about it, and then sometimes like doing it and following through and it working out is like, it's that same euphoric feeling, that you get when you learn a new trick. If you don't ride, you're down, or if you're down, you go ride. Depending on it doesn't matter what emotion you're feeling, you can always somehow find a way to channel that emotion through riding. You fail, but you just keep coming back to it. It's that you ride because you want to, and you ride because you literally have to. You have to stay sane, to be happy, to be yourself. And go so many places riding a bike, or you meet someone that's out of state through social media or whatever, and then you go and you ride with this person in this other state you've never been to, but you guys are going to go ride together because it's BMX. It's awesome. It's just something so special about that. At the end of the day, I mean, in BMX, we're all riding the same bikes. We're all doing relatively, the same thing. It's all the same end game. It's all the same end goal. You come up with an idea in your head and you work on it until you accomplish it.
George Gallio. I'm 35 years old, from Chesapeake, Virginia, and I'm currently riding for Stubrosa Brand and Shadow Conspiracy. So basically, I have what's called cerebral palsy, which the easy way to explain it is it's basically defined as brain damage that happens before, after, or during the birthing process. It can affect people in many different ways. Like some people have where just their legs are affected, or just their arms. It can affect speech. It can pretty much affect everything, and it affects everybody differently. I had a stroke before I was born because something got blocked in the birthing canal. I'm partially paralyzed on the right side. I've been riding as long as I can remember, since I was about 6 years old. Really before I even knew what BMX was. I just saw a bunch of people riding bikes and things like that, and having a disability, things were really hard for me, so it was something that I struggled with, but something that I really wanted to do. So I just kind of pushed my parents to let me ride a bike, and kind of figured that out. I had some issues with like the leg strength and stuff like that, so my legs would slip off the pedals, but I eventually got that down, and then we took off the training wheels. Shortly after that, I started jumping off curbs and doing stuff like that. But I didn't really find out till what BMX actually was until I was about 11 or 12. I saw some people at a spot like grinding a ledge. I was with a bunch of my friends. After I saw that, I kind of went home and started like trying to figure out what they were doing, because I'd never seen it before. And then things just kind of took off from there. Depending on, work and things like that, it's truthfully like 5 to 7 days a week. But honestly, I try to ride almost every single day. When I go long periods of time without riding because of my disability, my body gets stiff, and then I mentally kind of like get frustrated a little bit. And it's like I have to remind myself that my body's got to readjust because I haven't been able to ride for a couple of days. So from like a mental perspective, it's always best for me to, even if it's just for like an hour, to just go outside up at like the front yard or whatever and just kind of ride out front. It's just better for me that way because it keeps my body, like the muscle memory and all of that stuff that I need to be able to ride at the level that I want to ride at. Like the first half hour to 45 minutes of a session for me is literally just trying to get my body warmed up. Usually like my first like 5 to 6 bunny hops are like 2 inches off the ground. Now she's my fiance. She told me that I should start an Instagram and kind of just like put myself out there. And I really didn't want to do it because I was made fun of a lot when I first started riding, just, going to the skate parks, doing this, doing that, because I fell more than I actually rode. It would take me an hour just to get a single clip, and the clip really wasn't even that good. But I found that seeing myself ride and filming, because I've never really done that before, it actually helped me to get better, because I could see myself and what I was doing, and I could try to figure things out. Because a big problem that I had when I was younger is people would try to tell me how to do things and show me, but I couldn't do it how they were doing it. So I kind of had to figure it out on my own, so to speak, like what worked for me. So what I started doing was I was just like, I'm going to make this a journal for me. You know, if I want to just go out and just do feebles all day and post that on Instagram, that's what I'm going to post. So learning stuff for me, like, you know, has been kind of a process. To kind of give you an example, fakies are just one of my favorite things to do. I had realized kind of early on, if I could learn how to fakie, it would probably help my balance a lot, because it's different balance points. It took me over 3 years to learn how to fakie. It used to just be sessions of me rolling up a ramp and literally falling on my head over and over again, trying to like figure this out. Is I would go to the park and I would just kind of cruise around and get warmed up. Then I would do 10 bunny hops, 10 feebles, 10 double pegs, 10 one-footers, and then the rest of my time at the park, whether it be an hour or 4 hours, would just be fakies until I could figure it out. But as I've gotten a little bit older and a little bit more experienced, I realized it's more important to just be yourself. Do the things that you want to do, and if people like it, that's great. If people don't, just be you and just be yourself. And I know for me, that's something that's really helped me, is realizing that I don't need to learn how to bar spin if I don't want to. I don't need to learn how to tail it. If I want to go out and learn how to fakie 500 feet and go under a trailer, I can do that. I can learn how to do that. I don't have to do what everybody else is doing. I take what I can do and try to apply it in many different ways. And it's honestly, I have the most fun doing that. That first time I saw those guys at the ledge spot grinding the ledge, I was like, this is something that I want to do. And I haven't stopped since, you know? So for me, BMX is just more than riding a bike. It's therapy. If I'm having a bad day, like mentally, it helps clear that. So BMX means a lot to me. It's more than just riding a bike. It's an entire like family and culture. It's crazy. As long as BMX continues to grow and we have a future generation in the sport, whether they're riding dirt, riding wooden ramps, riding concrete bowls, BMX is BMX, and that's what's important. But truthfully, if I'm not riding BMX, I'm usually up in my apartment watching BMX videos, studying other riders. I just love this sport so much, and I can't get enough of BMX. You know, without BMX, I wouldn't be the person that I am today, and I'm just truly thankful for all of the opportunities that I've received.
Help me out, shout it out, oh yeah. And all the people on the right, if you love midnight, help me out, shout it out, oh yeah. And all the people in the front,
you think you can flip the hip or something?
Out, oh yeah. And all the people in the back, if your life's a heart attack, help me out, shout it out, oh yeah. It feels good to be back in the swing of things, touching heads up, I'll tell you what. Once again, Benzito's on a cut like a band-aid. This time sliced deeper than the tissue to the bone frame. Fame never the issue. It's them kids saying I miss you, rhyming off the head. Legend to the people, it doesn't add up. Subtract and divide leads to never no equal. Here we go, do it up more than Nike. Rock solid, break it down to your psyche.
All I can say is I hope the teacher, gives you an A. Because chances are, this one's going to be better than the majority of those entries or those pieces that the other people are handed in.